Do you need a great marketing tool to advertise your business or event? Then use Ottumwa Coasters. Get your business or event on drink coasters featured in Ottumwa's most popular restaurants. It's the most fun and effective way to reach the community. Starting at just $199, you get 1,000 coasters delivered to Ottumwa's most popular restaurants. Look for Ottumwa Coasters on Facebook or call or text 573-932-0111.
And here's your host, Steve Shedler.
Come on now. There we go. Hey, yo. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't know you were here today. Hey. Thank you. Good morning on this Thursday, November the 9th, 2023. The morning wake up presented by our friends at Ottumwa Coasters. Let's take a look at that right now. There you see some coasters made up by our friends at Ottumwa Coasters. Make sure you like and follow Ottumwa Coasters on Facebook and be sure to use them for your marketing needs in the Ottumwa area. What they're going to do is set up your coaster and then send it out to all of the most popular restaurants in Ottumwa, Iowa. That'll get your coaster, your business, your event in front of people that need to see it in Ottumwa, Iowa. So use Ottumwa Coasters, great marketing tool for advertising, and you can do that at Ottumwa Coasters on Facebook. Give them a like, give them a follow, and shoot them a message and get things set up for your business or event to advertise with Ottumwa Coasters. Again, sponsoring our morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. Let's take a look at our forecast for today, brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa in Sigourney. Make sure you call or text for an appointment with Amy at 641-622-3772, located at 202 North Main in Sigourney for hair services, spa services, extensions, products, and tanning. Forecast for today, it is nice. It's going to be breezy. Sunshine today, a high of 57. Yesterday, it was cloudy, just kind of dreary all day long. So sunshine is most welcome here in southeast Iowa today. Again, breezy west winds gusting up near 30 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly clear, a low of 31. We'll have west to northwest winds only around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine for your Friday and calmer winds, but cooler temps, a high of 49. Friday night will be mostly clear, just a little bit of a wind, and a low of 28. Veterans Day Saturday, mostly sunny and 53. Right now, looking at our current conditions here in southeast Iowa, humidity is at 91%, wind speeds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, our barometric pressure at 30.16, and currently 32 degrees here in southeast Iowa. That is our forecast, brought to us by our friends at Amy's Salon House and Spa in Sigourney. We're doing the morning wake up. Are you awake yet? Hey, it is a Thursday, and Ottumwa Coasters bringing us the morning wake up. Good morning to you, Amber. Good morning to you, Nick and Sandy. Got a lot to talk about today, including last night's CMA Awards, Country Music Awards. I don't know if you watched those or not. We'll discuss the winners and such here very shortly. But first, our featured guest this morning here on Steve Shetler Media, The Morning Wake Up, brought to us by Ottumwa Coasters, is none other than Sigourney High School student-athlete Carly Goodwin. As it was a big day for yesterday, Carly signing officially with the Division I school UNI, University of Northern Iowa, for softball. And let's go to that interview right now. All right, Steve Shetler here on Steve Shetler Media, and being joined today by Sigourney High School student athlete Carly Goodwin. Carly, how are you doing today?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to talk to you on what is an exciting day, as it was just announced that you signed with the University of Northern Iowa for softball. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Great to have you on. And big news as you sign with that Division I school for softball. The first softball player in Sigourney High School history to sign with a Division I team. So yeah, definitely big congratulations for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's run down some of your highlights. If people here in Sigourney are familiar with you, they know that you have done some incredible things on the softball field. Why don't you run down some of your career highlights from the last few years?
Yeah, for sure. I'm from 8th grade and to my junior year so far. So my 8th grade year, we played in a game against Linville that was on our postseason run.
Okay.
We ended up losing in 13 innings, unfortunately, but it was a really good game and something that I will remember forever in my history in softball. And then my freshman year, we were fortunate enough to make it to the state softball tournament. So that's always, super. It's awesome to get that experience in your life. And my sophomore, unfortunately, we lost in the regional final game, but we were able to get revenge on Twin Cedars this year as we beat them to go to state this year. And we had a pretty good season overall as a team too. So that's something that I will remember for sure as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now, of course, you strike a lot of people out. Any idea how many strikeouts you have for your high school career?
I'm around like 980.
Wow. So you're probably going to hit that 1,000 mark this coming year.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? You know what we should do when it gets warmer out in the spring? I should come to practice sometime and try to see if I can hit one off of you.
Okay, we can do that.
That would make for an entertaining video. I mean, yeah. I was really good at wiffle ball in my backyard back in the day, so who knows?
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah.
Again, Carly Goodwin, and Carly, as I've mentioned before, I've been a Sigourney native my entire life. I've grown up around these parts of Iowa for many years. I'm 51 years old. Not many people. I can only remember a select few that have gone on from Sigourney to play Division I anything in sports. So you are among the elite in Sigourney High School sports history. So big congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, obviously, your specialty is softball. Do you play any other sports during the school year? Are you involved in basketball this winter or anything like that?
Yes. Yep. I play basketball in the winter, and then I run track in the spring.
Okay. Sometimes folks specialize in certain sports, and then they don't want to go out for other things and maybe injure themselves or something like that. But it's good that you're well-rounded like that and still active in other things.
Yeah, for sure.
And how is the basketball team looking for this year?
Pretty good. I mean, we have a lot of our returners back, 2 seniors last year.
Okay.
So I think it'll be a good year to build off. So I'm really looking forward to that too.
Awesome. Well, once we get going into the winter sports season, we'll have our sports section coaches show going again on Saturday mornings at Brothers Market. And I'm sure we'll have you come in and be a guest one of those mornings. We'll have to wake you up early. I don't know if you're an early riser on Saturdays, but we might have to wake you up and get you into Brothers Market for a show or two.
All right, that sounds good.
But once again, Carly Goodwin from Sigourney High School. The big news signing with the University of Northern Iowa for softball. And I guess let's end this by asking you, obviously you'll go to school, you'll finish out your Sigourney High School career this summer, and then do you go off to school after that?
Yeah, so softball team just moves in with every other student that's going to
Okay.
UNI. So we'll move in like middle to end of August, and then
Okay.
we'll play a short fall softball season,
Okay.
and then the spring is when our full season is.
All right. Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing you in action this spring and summer here in Sigourney, and of course, we'll be tracking you as you move on to the University of Northern Iowa. UNI bound, Miss Carly Goodwin. Carly, thank you for joining me, and best of luck in basketball this winter, and track in the spring, and then softball season will be here before we know it. So, Carly, thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All righty, that was Carly Goodwin from Sigourney High School joining us on the morning wake up. And again, congratulations to Carly Goodwin signing with the University of Northern Iowa UNI to play some Division I softball. So great news for Carly. Hey, speaking of sports, there you see the Keota upcoming basketball schedule. We're going to make this into a poster once we get some of our sponsors finalized. We'll throw our sponsors and their logos on this poster, and we'll get those printed up and taken out into the area and get those hung. But 10 Keota basketball double headers, girls and boys. Might have a JV boys and a varsity boys doubleheader thrown in there as well. But that's the schedule. The highlighted games are the games that we're going to be covering this year. Live video, live announcers, live scoreboard updates for Keota basketball. So if you want to sponsor, if you're a person that runs a business in Keota or in Sigourney or the surrounding area, and you want to jump on board and need some sponsorship information, let me know at steveshetlermedia@gmail.com. That's Keota basketball coming right up at the end of the month. Another thing we've got going on, you can email me in your veterans information. Veterans Day on Saturday. And we're going to put together a video honoring some of our veterans here in the area. And if you want to send me your picture of your veteran, their name, and their information of their service to our country, what branch they were in, what years they served, where they were located, you can get all of that information in steveshetlermedia@gmail.com. And I'm going to make that video, and we'll make it a kind of a slideshow, putting up the pictures and the information of our area veterans. That'll come out on Saturday with that video. Again, email me your information, your pictures and your information, steveshetlermedia@gmail.com for Veterans Day. Speaking of Veterans Day, Keokuk County Veterans Affairs Office and Commissioners in appreciation of the veterans going to have a supper on November 11th. That is Saturday at the Keokuk County Expo at 5. So, take advantage of that if you're a veteran, as Michelle Herman, the VA administrator, and the folks at the Veterans Affairs Office and Commissioners in Iowa are going to be putting that on Saturday at the Expo. Hey, we're doing the Morning Wake Up here on Steve Shetler Media. Morning Wake Up brought to us by our friends at Ottumwa Coasters. Did you guys watch the CMAs last night? By the way, good morning to you, Kay, scraping your car windows off this morning. Good morning to you, Kurt and Kathy, and anybody else that's watching. If you want to chime in on the comments, you can do that right below the video, and let me know you're watching and maybe where you're watching from. Let's talk these CMAs. Did you guys watch the CMAs last night, I should say? The CMAs, the biggest night in country music for the year, entertainer of the year, and the big coming out party for the now super duper star Lainey Wilson and her bell bottoms. Entertainer of the year last night for Lainey Wilson. That was a surprise. I was expecting it to be a big night, as probably everybody was, for Lainey Wilson, and it was. I mean, let's see here. Look at that list there. She got Album of the Year. She was in there with Hardy for Music Video of the Year, Female Vocalist of the Year, Musical Event of the Year. So taking home a bunch of awards, Lainey Wilson. But with the list that she was on, I was surprised because I kind of thought that for Entertainer of the Year, as far as I know, and I don't know much, I'll tell you that right now. For Entertainer of the Year, I thought that kind of leaned more towards the touring side of things. And boy, when you got Luke Combs out there, doing stadium shows, and Morgan Wallen doing stadium shows and just huge live events, I kind of thought Morgan or Luke Combs would get Entertainer of the Year just for that fact, the amount of tickets that they're selling, the venues that they're playing, and all that goes into those huge shows. But I guess not. I was wrong, which, shocking. I was wrong. Lainey Wilson, your Entertainer of the Year. So, Lainey, big congratulations to her. I saw one of my music friends here in Iowa share a post and some information showing that Lainey, just like a few years ago, played a show in Northwest Iowa for $500, just a few years ago. So that goes to show you can be playing here in Iowa for a few $100 now, and in, say, 5 years, be the CMA Entertainer of the Year. It's crazy things happen in the world of music. So congratulations to Lainey Wilson. Big wins last night, CMA Entertainer of the Year. As far as the, and if you guys watch, chime in the comments on your thoughts on the CMAs. As far as the live performances, and I said this in my personal profile news feed, what is with the war and treaty? Why? Nothing against them personally. Let me do this here. Nothing against them personally, the war and treaty. Obviously, fantastic talents. But to be nominated for a CMA award, shouldn't you have to have some sort of presence on country music radio? I mean, literally, the only time you hear or see the war and treaty is an award show. And they always get stage time. They always get to perform. But they've never even sniffed a hit at country radio. So why not give that TV time to somebody who is getting radio time or making some waves in country music? Now, again, absolutely nothing personal against the war and treaty. Great talents, superb voices. But I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why they feature that. And what was up with the final performance of the night? It's a country music awards show. I get Jelly Roll. I, again, love Jelly Roll. I mean, that guy, when I had another Facebook page last year, when Jelly Roll came out in 2022, I featured one of his songs, Son of a Sinner, on country radio. Made a post about it on Facebook, and he actually, or one of his people, went out of their way to comment on my Facebook post at the time, which I thought was really cool, because usually major label artists don't bother talking or spending time on social media responding to small town radio stations on Facebook or social media. But Jelly Roll did. So I'm a huge fan of Jelly Roll. But getting back to it, not that Jelly Roll was in the final segment, but what was her name? K. Michelle? I have never even heard of her. I looked her up. She's got 6 million followers on Facebook. So obviously she's a big deal to some people. I had no clue who she was. Why are we ending the Country Music Awards with a non-country artist? That's what I don't understand. What do you guys think? I'm looking here at the comments here. Got a weirdo making some scam comments there. I'll have to eliminate him here shortly. Good morning to you, Emma, Eric, Melissa, Alexander. You are a weirdo and you are going to get blocked. Eric, like the finale. Let's see here. So anyway, I don't know. As far as the finale, throw somebody country on there. Let somebody relevant to country music end the show. Give them the spotlight. Give them the main event. End with a current artist that's a superstar. End with a legend. Throw a George Strait out there in the finale or something, or Dolly Parton. Whatever. Anyway, I won't harp on that too much. Let's see here. So just some thoughts there, just random thoughts from the CMAs. What else do I need to talk about here? I want to throw up that we've got Luke S. Williams, the man of many genres. Luke. I am not your father, Luke, but Luke S. Williams. Luke S. Williams will be in Sigourney, big town of Sigourney, tomorrow at Barnwired. We'll do our Iowa Music Showcase tomorrow, 11:30 to noon. Luke will be performing some original material, and we'll interview him, get to know him. I don't know the guy. I only know what I see on Facebook and social media. So I have never talked to him in person, never heard him in person. So we'll all get to know Luke S. Williams tomorrow, 11:30 to noon at Barnwired. Stop in person, get something to drink, do some shopping, eat some lunch, or watch it here on Steve Shetler Media. It is up to you what you want to do with the Iowa Music Showcase. All right, there's my ugly mug. Let's do some of our normal stuff. Let's do the happy birthday song. Happy birthday to you. Birthdays! Hey, Whitey Herzog, if you're a baseball fan, a longtime baseball fan, you know Whitey Herzog, manager extraordinaire, 92 years old today. So happy birthday to you, Whitey, longtime Cardinals manager, Whitey Herzog. I didn't realize he was still alive, so good for you, Whitey. Go get him today. Have a great day. 92 years old. Let's see your other birthdays today. Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, 72 years old today. Other birthdays, Peppa from Salt and Peppa, turning 57 years old. We've got pro wrestler Chris Jericho. Break the walls down. Chris Jericho, 53 years old today. We've got actor Eric Dane from Grey's Anatomy, 51. Nick Lachey, 98 degrees. He is 50 years old. Singer Cisco turns 45. Let's see here. We had Nick Lachey with his birthday. We've got Vanessa Lachey turning 43. Country singer Chris Lane, 39 years old. Those are your celebrity birthdays for today. Yes, by the way, in the comments, Eric, Tanya Tucker did rock it last night. Her performance with Little Big Town was good stuff. Good to see Tanya Tucker on TV last night. On this day in history, 1799, on November 9th, Napoleon became dictator of France. So Napoleon, I know there's a Joaquin Phoenix movie coming out about Napoleon. On this date back in 1865, General Lee, the person, not the car, General Lee surrendered to Union General Grant. So that was happening back in 1865. 1872, the Great Boston Fire began on this date, destroyed over 1,000 buildings. On this date, 1966, John Lennon met Yoko Ono. Neil Crott and I were talking about Yoko Ono yesterday. If you've ever heard her singing, that was me impersonating Yoko Ono. She screeches. 1967, the very first Rolling Stone magazine was published. And it was today, 1997. We also talked about this yesterday. Hey, Macarena. Macarena was knocked out of the number one spot on the charts after 14 weeks on this date in 1997. My dog Daisy just walked into the studio and she is making a mess. So, hi Daisy, how you doing? Daisy is a blonde lab, a yellow lab. Good to have her in the studio with me. Things you need to know. Excuse me. Things you need to know. Actors, SAG, AFTRA, they have reached a tentative deal to end their strike. So hopefully things will be getting back to normal in Hollywood. We can start getting some of our favorite shows rocking and rolling again. How about this? Things you need to know. Shoplifting is up 73% in Dallas, Texas. 73%. I mean, that's what happens in these big cities. People are just allowed to do whatever they want to do, and nobody stops them. I mean, you see it all the time. You see videos all the time of people going in, ransacking businesses, taking what they want, and leaving, and nobody does anything about it. Try that in a small town. Let's see here. Weird thing going on the coast of Gibraltar. Orca whales, killer whales, have started attacking and sinking ships here in the last couple of years. They have actually attacked and sunk 4 ships in the past couple of years. So if you happen to be on a boat, a vessel of some sort on the coast of Gibraltar, look out for the whales. They're coming for you. Aaron Rodgers evidently was caught on microphone last weekend saying that he was, quote, going to be back in a few weeks. So Jets fans, we'll see if Aaron Rodgers makes a comeback this year. Of course, we're getting into the holiday movie season. The classic Elf with Will Ferrell turning 20 years old this week. Bob Newhart, who has the role of the dad elf, says that it's still one of his all-time favorite roles. We watch that movie every year here in the Shetler household. Elf is a classic for the holidays. This is something you need to know. A rare first-class menu from the Titanic, expected to fetch up to $86,000 when it goes on sale on Saturday in an auction. Let's see here. They think they finally nabbed some thieves. 4 men that have been arrested in the United Kingdom charged with stealing an 18-karat golden toilet worth $6 million from a castle in England a few years ago. Hang on, I have to go to the golden toilet and do my deed. Let's see here. Second former player in the NHL, Chicago Blackhawks, suing the team, accusing the team of overlooking his complaints that their then video coach, Brad Aldrich, had sexually assaulted him leading up to the 2010 Stanley Cup Finals. A hockey player getting sexually assaulted. You think a fight would have broke out before they would have allowed that to happen. Let's see. Amber in the comments saying that my Yoko Ono impersonation sounds like a turkey. Things you need to know. Patrick Dempsey was named People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. I was deemed not sexiest man alive once again. I'm highly offended. Megan Fox says that she has been in some very abusive relationships with several famous people. She's not naming names yet. Of course, she's not going to name names just for the fun of it. She's going to put it in a book. Got to make some money. Make those big bucks. And then finally, not surprisingly, the #1 show on streaming services this past week has been Friends. Let's do this. Today's Impossible Question. Today's impossible question. Nearly 90% of us are planning to do this year. Coming up on Thanksgiving. What is it? What do you think? 90% of us are planning to do this at Thanksgiving this year. It is cutting at least one dish from the Thanksgiving menu. Really? It's kind of weird. 90% of us are going to cut a dish. You can, again, Neil and I were talking yesterday about Thanksgiving food and how I'm a very, very, very picky eater. I mean, you could cut everything off of the Thanksgiving menu as far as I'm concerned, other than turkey, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pie and Cool Whip. Everything else, I don't care. Get rid of it all, other than those things. Those are your vital necessities for a successful Thanksgiving if you're eating with me. Turkey, potatoes, pumpkin pie. All right, in some weird news.
That is weird.
Of course, we've seen plenty of movies about artificial intelligence, robots rising up and killing everybody. Terminator. Let's see here. But that's actually happening. Robots are killing people. Accidents happened most recently in South Korea. On Wednesday, a robotics company employee was inspecting a robot used to move boxes at a produce distribution center in a place that I can't even think about trying to pronounce. When the robot, quote unquote, failed to differentiate him from the boxes of food it was handling. The robot grabbed the guy. Let's see here. Which he was supposed to be lifting boxes of peppers onto pallets. So the robot grabbed the man, slammed him against a conveyor belt, and crushed his face and chest. It's happening. Terminator is happening. Other weird news. Let's hit that button again.
That is weird.
Weird news. California man says it was by far the most terrifying experience of his life, and it happened in the waters he's been swimming in for 30 years. Basically, the 69-year-old San Francisco resident was attacked by a pair of aggressive otters. You always see the otters on videos, and they look so cute, so cuddly. But otters almost killed a guy. He was bitten at least 12 times, had 40 to 50 puncture wounds, needed 8 stitches where one of the otters ripped his arm open. So those otters, they might look cute and cuddly, but don't trust an otter as far as you can throw them. Let's see here. What else is going on? Files of law and disorder. A man arrested 6 times since 2021 has been sentenced to prison for the first time. His name is Lyric Wynn, 23 years old. He was in court in Pennsylvania on Tuesday for parole and probation violations. Authorities said that Wynn tried to break into the police department to retrieve drugs that had been seized from him. Lyric, what are you thinking, pal? It's time to rethink your life. Again, trying to break into the police department to steal back the drugs that they took from him. In doctor news, why is this doctor news? This should be animal wildlife news. Python hunters in Florida teamed up to tackle a massive 198-pound snake. That is one reason why I still live in Iowa. I don't believe there are any 200-pound snakes running around Iowa. A group of python hunters in Florida banded together to capture the monster 17-foot snake, tipping the scales at 198 pounds. A conservationist and his son were out looking for invasive snakes when they came across the massive python. 200 pounds. 17 feet long. That's terrifying. And finally today, in our moment of duh. Again, wildlife related in our moment of duh today. Arizona woman has died 8 days after she was apparently trampled by elk that she may have been feeding outside of her home. I'm suddenly worried about the deer that I wake up to every morning over in the park across the street in Legion Park here in Sigourney. Every day, every night, I take the dogs out and we see deer over there. At least 4 to 5, 6. I've seen a buck recently running through the park at least 2 or 3 times in the last few days. So now I need to got to have my head on a swivel. Let's see here. It's thought to be the first fatal elk attack in state history. Again, this is in Arizona. So you got to watch those elk. Man, we've had elk, pythons. What else were we talking about earlier? Other otters. That's weird talk. The wildlife are turning against humanity, as are the robots. I don't know. Cue the scary music. End of the world. The end of days are here. That is your morning wake up, sponsored by Ottumwa Coasters. Again, like and follow Ottumwa Coasters on Facebook and use them for your marketing needs in the Ottumwa area. And we thank Amy's Salon House and Spa for sponsoring our forecast. Thanks to Carly Goodwin, Sigourney High School softball player, for joining me, signing with UNI to play Division I softball. Congratulations to Carly. All right, that does it for today. Let's see here. Coming up later on today, we'll have our Sigourney Public Library video with Amanda. We'll have our Great Outdoors, excuse me, with, pardon me, Laura DeCook with the Great Outdoors later on this afternoon at 4. One thing we won't have today is our Heartland Humane Society Weekly Pet. That is rescheduled for tomorrow. So we're going to push that off until Friday. So that does it. Have yourselves a great Thursday. Enjoy the nice but windy weather. And we'll see you again here tomorrow morning.